Welcome to Info World, when NFL starts and ends. I'm your host, Jacob. And this is a special edition. We didn't do a show on Wednesday. We had no internet. We couldn't do a show for you guys. Mostly that show was going to be a very heavy Dallas Cowboys show, and I apologize for that. But I think it's very important to be said. Because it's for Cowboys related. It has Cowboys and Cowboys related things. To basically describe this is to explain the hypocrisy of the situation. So on Monday, we didn't talk about it. But on Monday at 11 o'clock, Dallas Cowboys and Brian Schottenheimer did the first press conference with Schottenheimer as the head coach. And there's media members, there's family, there's friends, there's a former teammate, there's players now. Dak Prescott was there. And all there, and in talking to everybody, like Schottenheimer, in the meantime, or maybe just a little earlier than that, Aaron Glenn, who ended up playing for the Cowboys, also played for the Jets, played for the Saints in a period of time, was being introduced as the new head coach of the New York Jets. And let me explain the hypocrisy in this situation. The Jets aren't controlling the first time. When Glenn walks out there, there's a podium. He's talking about things he's going to do. He's answering questions. But he walks out by himself. That's the key. Walks out by himself. When Brian Schottenheimer walked out, it wasn't just Brian Schottenheimer. It was Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. Let me explain what happened. It was a little of an, I don't know if you could describe it as an aha moment, but it was odd for sure and awkward. So Jerry Jones walked out first, and there's no applause. He just walked. Out comes Brian Schottenheimer, and because it's family, friends, teammates, players, current players, and even media members were clapping. They're all like, yay! Put that in perspective, nobody clapped. No media member clapped. Everyone's clapping. People I follow think how it's not normal whatsoever. If you're a media member, you're supposed to be unbiased, and here they are clapping. But then Stephen Jones comes out, and there's nothing. And then there's what's it? Like as if someone was trying to swat a fly. How was it? It was the most awkward aha moment, and Stephen Jones saw it. I think he saw it like, oh, that's how it's operating right now. That's how it is right now. They don't like it. They don't like me right now. This was bad. The other part of why I'm a little jealous, envious of the Jets is that Aaron Glenn went out there. They only asked Aaron Glenn questions. With Jerry Stephen Jones up there, they asked Jerry and Stephen questions. And you could just see the ignorance of it. They weren't naive to it, they were ignorant to it. And that's what the problem was. Because Brian Sanders was talking, he's talking about this, he's talking about this, he's talking about this. And a good answer, he had a great answer saying, like, I know X's and O's, but I know people better. This is a great answer. Very well thought out answer, very trained answer, but still a good answer. Hold on. So they're asking Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones question. And Jerry Jones is giving the answer as in, my father was this. My father was this. And how 36 years ago I bought the Cowboys and I had nothing. And all this. I'm like, Jerry, first of all, 36 years, that's the key of the story. You are worth, your team is worth $10 billion. Your team is $10 billion. You're not a broke man anymore. The team, oh, the team is $10 billion rich. You can stop at the story. The story needs to change. Happened 36 years ago. Get over it. No one wants to hear about it. It's a good story, but no one wants to hear it again for the 36th straight time. No one wants to hear it. And Stephen Jones is as ignorant because they couldn't read the room. These two guys, Jerry Jones is a businessman. His job is to read the room. Stephen Jones is the son of a businessman. His job is to read the room, and they had no ability of reading this room. They go out there. Stephen Jones, first of all, he used air quotes like he was a teenager or younger than that, like as if he didn't want to say what the person said. And I actually have the one quote here. It says, suspecting many people think we are quote unquote in a drought. We're in a drought. Quote unquote drought. We're not in a drought. And so he's trying to basically say, we're not in a drought. Steven, it's not a drought. It's a desert. It's hell over here. There is nothing. Because the day before, the Washington Commanders competed in an NFC Championship game. The last time they did that was 1991. They were the longest tenured team outside of you, who were at 96, to be in an NFC, to not be in an NFC Championship game. They were in one more recently than you were. You're the longest tenured team in NFL to not be in an NFC Championship game for that period of time. 1996. That is what you are. And at the end of the day, they don't realize we're in a supposed drought. Yeah, you are. It's hell over here. It's dry. There's nothing here. A camel could not live here. There's no water. Because you guys don't realize. That's the way it was done. You could see the hypocrisy. I thought some of the things Steinheimer said were good. Some of the things were not so good. The first press conference is usually not a great press. Usually has. But if you can relate to people, it should be okay. Now, you see over there in Glenn, Aaron's more praying to think a certain way. Aaron Glenn was talking on a podcast. I think it was on the pivot. He was talking about how if he was the head coach, what he would bring. He says, I bring a lot. Because I started out as a scout. I wasn't even a coach. I called Bill Parcells up saying I want to coach. And he said, no, not yet. You should be a scout. And so I was a scout. And I was an in-home scout. And then after a few years, I went on the road. And then I kind of transitioned into coaching. So I took what scouting taught me, took me into coaching. And what coaching positions taught me made me a coordinator. What made me a coordinator made me a head coach. That's what it does. It teaches you this, and this, so you can get where you want to be. And I think that's what Aaron Glenn brings. He brings a step-by-step process, scouting to now being the head coach of the New York Jets, seeing what everyone's value is, and whether or not they can keep him or let you go. Very important as a head coach. And he's been brought kind of in his drafting, makes all a lot. Now, to transition back to the Cowboys, they hired a defensive coordinator. Really named him Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus, former head coach of the Chicago Bears. This isn't the first time the Cowboys do. This is actually the third time they hire a former head coach to be the defensive coordinator. And I actually like this one because there was essentially two choices outside of Eberflus. There was Robert Saleh and Dennis Allen. You weren't going to really get Dennis Allen. Robert Saleh was going back to San Francisco. The only way you could bring him in was as a head coach. Eberflus, he coached with the Cowboys between 2011 and 2017 as the linebacker coach. I believe he was also an assistant linebacker coach prior to that. So there's a long tenured history with the Cowboys. He now gets to run a system to DC. He is bringing to their assistant, defensive assistant, and Andre Curtis, who, if you really paid attention to this, he was interviewed for the DC job as part of the minority requirements. You have to interview two minority coaches, which we'll talk about for 1 second after. He also bringing in over like let's see here. And to bring also Dave Steve Borganazi, who will be the linebacker coach he's been with Eberflus for like the last 6 years. The reason I bring those names up is because those guys formerly coached with Eberflus. We just saw quick beef now. Quick B coached with Eberflus also in Indianapolis. Let's go back to the Andre Curtis. It really doesn't have much to do with Andre Curtis outside of the fact that he was interviewed for a minority coaching, the minority coach race. And this is written by Justin Anderson. No real evidence that this will happen outside of this. But Justin Anderson wrote that he was talking to a coach and saying that the NFL might move to getting rid of the Rooney Rule. Now, I wouldn't be against it because coaches don't use it, but at the same time, it's like, what were we doing for the last 5 or so years? Me, I think the better thing to do would be revamping it. As in, you have to interview minority head coach or minority coaches for head coaching roles or coordinator roles. If you have to give one of them at least a second. That's not what's happening. We'll give you 2 examples. This is really easy examples. I'll give you 2 from Patriots and I'll give you 2 from the Cowboys. Very quick. The 2 from the Patriots were Byron Leftwich and Steph Hamilton. We've mentioned those names. Both those guys have coached since 2022. So we're not going to get that coaching job. Maybe they are a maybe they are a assistant coach or something like that. They're not going to get a head coach. That's not what we get. And the second part of it was for Hamilton hadn't coached since he was in Houston. There was no chance you go to then the Cowboys one of it, which was Leslie Frazier and Robert Saleh. outside of Robert Saleh, I don't think Frazier was not going to get the head coaching job. But he ain't going to be the VP. You knew that. He was just trying to fill a fire. All they were trying to accomplish. The same thing that all these other teams are doing. We'll see what the Saints do. But outside of the Jets, we'll be pushing at one minority coach is going to be good. One. Not good. Not that good. And the one place that hired him already had a minority head coach previous to him. So it's like, it is what it is. But it needs to be fixed instead. We don't think that will. Now, let's get more into the news portion of this. Mm. Talk about Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy had essentially one job offer, the Saints game. And on Tuesday, it was announced McCarthy would sit out the 2025 season and would focus on the 2026 coaching instead. Now, you ask, why did this happen? McCarthy thought, uh, McCarthy probably thought that he was going to have more options. He interviewed with the Jets. Didn't happen. A report came out that he was interviewing with the Saints. Was it full offensive coordinator with the Saints? He was interviewing with the Saints, and we were unimpressed. We were going to give him a second interview because the general manager of the Saints, Loomis, thought he had a rapport with McCarthy. Whether or not they had that second interview, I don't think people were that impressed with McCarthy because the same issues popped up. Years, control, all the things that Dallas was saying we want, he wasn't going to get, and therefore he wasn't going to take the job. And that's what happened here. I think it was because his play calling. Think about it. You got to think about it. In the 2 years McCarthy had the play call, the Cowboys went from 95% of red zone 2.5 years ago to this year being 45%, which is second worst only to the Giants. Please look at that. They don't just look at past year, they look at the year prior. I think they were only at 50%. So we're still bottom five. So there's issues with that. That's easy to say. And like I said, with the new hire coach, you're expecting him to be better than the previous 65. I think McCarthy would be a better coach than South. But I don't think he'd be much better. That team has no movable characters, no quarterback. The team is really old. Anything goes here. Well, a lot of the other jobs in Penn State had movable places. Not all the pieces were old. The stars were somewhat young. It was still a really good place with the older one. So now it means Kellen Moore is in the driver's seat for this job. Will he take it? I don't know. There's 32 jobs in the NFL. 30 that's hard to come up. But would I rather be part of this Eagles team where I have a chance to win it? NFL's highest honor, which is winning the Super Bowl. Would I rather go win that, but then go take the same job, which is not very good? Let's talk Miles Garrett now. Let's take a pivot. Miles Garrett, who he had said earlier in the season, in the regular season, how he doesn't want to be part of the league. He's at his age, he's 32. He doesn't want to be part of the league. And when the general manager of the Browns was asked this question, he said Garrett won't be traded no matter what the cost. No matter what we get, he won't be traded. Now, is Miles is that certain he doesn't want to be here? He could easily say, I'm not playing this week. I won't. Unless it's true. What could easily happen? Again, we've seen players leverage their way out. And Miles does deserve it. We'll see if he gets it. And finally, let's do it fine. Eagles activate practice window for Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham suffered a torn bicep, I believe, in his arm about 2 months ago. He suffered that injury. And we were all like, he's not going to pile on one bicep. He's just not going to do it. Now, as we stand here, January 30th, he's healthy enough to try to come back. And because he gets a week to get going. He's a much needed boost to that Eagles pass rush. Will he be able to defend? Hold on. Okay. This Eagles pass rush with their tackles who haven't been that great. A much needed boost is on the way for the Eagles. And maybe you're looking a little, maybe the Chiefs are going and looking a little side eye and saying, how on earth are we going to stop these pass? That's the question we will see in about 12 days. Wrong for world. I'm